This video is just a simple primer on creating architectural glass, or glass that usually will obscure what's behind it but still appear as if it's transparent. In OpenGL here, you can see if we go between these two save views, I have my glass, but it won't be reflective since OpenGL doesn't show reflections. So I can pivot around here and I can see that I'm able to see all the way through this building. I can see the empty inside. So if I didn't feel like fleshing out this building, or if I was just designing the exterior, I wouldn't want to show these empty areas inside. I'd want that to be obscured by this glass texture. A few things before we talk about reflections. There's two very common mistakes. The first one is this is using the regular glass reflective texture, the default one, but there's nothing for it to reflect. So you're seeing the transparency, but it doesn't look like glass. It just looks like it's transparent. And that's just because there's nothing in the environment. There's just a blank, empty whiteness here and nothing to show. If we go over here, we've turned on the environment, so we get that nice background and environment lighting, but we don't have any reflections turned on in our rendering. So if this was fast renderworks or a custom renderworks with the reflectivity, the number of reflections was set to 0, this is what you would get. You wouldn't see what's going on in front. We just see those steps, or the step site model behind the object here. The default glass does a pretty good job, but this is usually what people ask about. They want to make this darker, or they want to make it more opaque. So what you would think you would want to do is either edit that glass, and what a lot of people will do is they'll go in here and say, oh, I want it to be more reflective, so I'll edit the reflectivity. But there's no value here. There's just blurriness. And I can make that more blurry, but that isn't the look we're going for. You want that glossy sheen to it. So what a lot of people will do, their second guess, is they'll edit that same texture, and they'll change the reflectivity to a mirror, since you can control the reflectivity here. But a mirror texture doesn't look quite right on glass. If we go here, now, if you want a mirror look, this is perfect, but this is a bit too perfect of a mirror. This doesn't look like glass. It looks like it is either two-way mirror or just a straight-up mirror wall. It doesn't look like it's glass and object. It's a little unrealistic. What we can do, though, is go into one of the textures. We can duplicate. This is just a duplicate of this glass texture. And instead of altering it so that we have a different reflectivity, we've edited the transparency, and we've reduced the transmission, which is how transparent this object is. 100% would be completely invisible, and 0% would be a solid slab wall. So transmission of 50, usually between 40 and 60% is pretty good for glass. The lower you make this value, the more opaque the glass will be. But it will still take this tint color instead of going perfect mirror like we were seeing in the background. So here's what happens if we just reduce the transparency. So we get that nice smoky black glass look. It's reflecting what's in front of it. And you can still see a bit inside, but not very much. And your eye isn't drawn away into the inside of the model here. This is also important to notice because this will affect your color tinting. So if you have glass and you want to give it either a gold tint, which is fairly common, or you give it this nice blue architectural glass tint, that's handled here. In the transparency color, this will be black. This color and this color will mix together to give your color here. So generally, one of those you'll want to set to black, and you'll control the color with the other one. If we go in here and we try to edit this color as well, here we'll go ahead and we'll try to add a yellow to this. We'll end up with a bit of a green because it's tried to blend the two. Now this will never look quite right. So usually you want to leave the color of the actual transparency either black or white, and then tint the color with the reflectivity color. That'll work a little better for you.